The next concept is normal reaction or normal reaction force. What is the way to define or understand this concept? Let us take a body which is placed on a horizontal surface. Whenever a body is placed like this, there are two forces acting on this body. One is gravitational force, nothing but the weight of the body, and another force is normal reaction force, N. So what is the meaning of this normal reaction force? This is actually a force of reaction which is acting tangentially above the object. Means the force which is acting tangentially. Tangentially means making some angle with respect to the surface of the contact. This is represented by capital N. If suppose the weight of the body or the gravitational force acting on the body is mg, this will be mg cos theta, because normal reaction force is equal in the magnitude of gravitational force but having a slight angle with respect to the surface of contact. So this is a force of reaction which is acting tangentially with respect to the surface of contact. Tangentially on object. So like this, the object which is placed on the surface, so it is acting tangentially. Tangentially means morely it is a normal in the direction. This is called normal reaction or normal reaction force. It is represented by N. But the frictional force has many laws to obey. Frictional force is independent of area of contact. Independent of area of contact. Means whatever may be the area which is in contact with the surface, frictional force is independent of that. That means if you see this object, this object is placed horizontally on the plane, we can keep the object like this also. In both the situations, in this case the body's more area is dependent on the surface. Here only less area of the body is touching the surface. Whatever may be the case, frictional force is independent. But frictional force is directly proportional to the normal reaction force. So the frictional force is directly proportional to normal reaction force. So we can write F is proportional to N. If you remove the proportionality constant, in place of proportionality, we can replace this with a symbol called mu N. So the frictional force is equal to mu into N. What is this mu? Coefficient of friction. It is one of the unitless physical quantity or dimensionless physical quantity, because if you see the definition of the mu, it is F by N. What is F? What is N? F is a frictional force, N is also a normal reaction force. So force by force, the units will be cancelled. That's why this mu is one of the physical quantity which has dimensionless. It is dimensionless physical quantity. What is the definition of mu? Mu is equal to F by N. It is the ratio of frictional force to the normal reaction force. It is the ratio of frictional force to normal reaction force. These things we can say the laws of friction, means friction is independent of area of contact and friction is dependent on the normal reaction force, and the continued equation part about the friction. Now we will discuss the types of friction. The different types of frictions are there. First one is static friction. Second one is kinetic friction. This kinetic friction is also called dynamic friction or sliding friction. The third one is rolling friction. These are the three different types of friction where we can observe in our daily life with different objects and different situations. So what is the equation part where we can express or where we can expect these all situations we are going to discuss now. Now we are going to discuss about the static friction. The title itself says that static means steady. So what is the meaning of this static friction? Let us take a body which is on a horizontal surface. This is the representation of the surface. It was fixed to a thread and this thread is mounted on a pulley. One pan is attached at one of the end. In this pan we should add the weights. This is pulley. This is the object, has mass m. This is the pan. If suppose there is no weight in the pan, that means the net force acting on the object is 0. Therefore the body won't move. We know that. When we keep on adding the weights in the pan, suppose for some example I have drawn some 3 weights. Let us take a 1 weight is added or loaded in the pan. That means this 1 weight, nothing but some finite grams, 50 grams or 100 grams or 200 grams, whatever may be the availability with respect to that we are applying. This pan is loaded with this weight. This weight automatically applies a force to move this object. But if the force is not sufficient to move, the body will be in rest. In the previous case, net force acting on the body is 0. In the second case, while we are keeping the weights on adding or keep on adding the weights in the pan, the force is not sufficient to move. The meaning is that this body is experiencing a different type of friction or a force of reaction or frictional force which keeps to be in the steady state. Of course, a force is acting on it in the either end. This type of friction is called static friction. So what is the definition of static friction? The static friction may be defined like this. It is a force of resistance offered by a body which is in static state or steady state while it is tending to move under the action of external force. It is the force of reaction acting on a body or a steady state body or in motion while it is tending to move under the action of external force. Means an external force is applying on the body to move it, but a self-adjusting force is keeping the body in steady state. This is called static friction. There are many laws about the static friction. What are those? So what are the laws of the static friction? It is a self-adjusting force. Second one, this force is equal in the magnitude of applied force but in opposite direction. This force is equal to the magnitude of applied force but opposite in direction. So from the second law we can say that this frictional force is almost an example or consequence of Newton's third law of motion. The third one, this force is independent of area of contact. Independent on area of contact. Like this we can define the laws of static friction. So what is the way to define the laws of static friction? One more, static friction Fs is proportional to normal reaction force. Therefore Fs is equal to mu s n. This mu s is coefficient of static friction. So the coefficient of static friction is defined as Fs by n. So it is the ratio between static friction to the normal force of reaction. Static frictional force to the normal reaction force. So like this we can understand the concept of static friction. Where we can see this static friction, suppose if the force is not sufficient to move the object, the body will be in steady state for long duration of time. In that case, until it moves, before that motion starts, the body is said to be in static friction condition. The next different types of friction is kinetic friction. Yes, the definition itself says that kinetic energy, the kinetic energy means the energy which is possessed by a body while it is in motion by virtue of its motion. Like that, kinetic friction means it is such type of a friction which comes to play whenever a body is moving on the surface of another body. So what is the way to define? We will take the previous example, same horizontal plane, the object which is placed like this. This is the pulley. This is the pan. These are the weights. This is the body of mass m. In static friction, the net force acting on the body is 0 up to some conditions, means up to the some weight. Whenever you are keeping the weights on adding in the pan, at one particular mass, at one particular weight, the body will start to move slowly. Up to that, the body will be in the steady state. So we can say that the body is experiencing the static friction before this one weight is adding. Whatever may be the weight is 50 grams or 100 grams, depends upon the nature and material of the body. So when we are adding the weights for one complete addition of a particular weight in grams, then the body will start to move. Whenever the body is just starting to move, a frictional force will be acting on this body. Means that force will come to play in a role to oppose its motion. This type of frictional force is kinetic friction. So it is the force which comes to play the role to oppose the motion of the bodies which are moving on the surface of another body. Means this frictional force is always opposing the motion of the body, which don't allows the body to move smoothly. This type of friction is kinetic friction. This kinetic friction is expressed as Fk. This Fk is proportional to N, nothing but the normal reaction force. Whenever you remove this proportionality constant, it will be replaced by mu k. So therefore Fk is equal to mu kn, where mu k is coefficient of kinetic friction. The definition of the coefficient of kinetic friction is mu k is equal to Fk by N. So ratio between kinetic frictional force to the force of normal reaction. Next, the loss of kinetic friction. What is the meaning of this loss? Yes, the first law is kinetic friction is independent of area of contact. Second one, this force or nothing but the kinetic frictional force acts always opposite to the applied force direction. This force acts always opposite to the direction of applied force. Kinetic means moving, motion. Whenever a body is under the motion, it possesses with some velocity. For small velocities, kinetic friction is almost negligible. The kinetic friction is negligible. But if the velocity goes on increasing, that means if you see the thermal welding, in case of the thermal welding, the force of the reaction will be more because the ions which are coming out of that welding rod, which is in a form of electrical waves or electromagnetic waves, those can create a lot of friction on the surface because friction will be increases. Means if velocity increases, the kinetic friction is countable. So like this, we can understand the kinetic friction. There is a separate line, a thin line, which separates the static friction to the kinetic friction. This thin separate line is called limiting friction. So what is the meaning of limiting friction? Limiting friction means, yes, see the same example which we are taking regularly to understand the concept. Or we can say this is the wheel. A pulley, a pan, body of mass m, it's a pulley, it's a pan. Yes. Now let us take the finite values of the mass which is adding. Let us take the mass, what I am adding is 50 grams each. Let us suppose this body's mass is some 1 kg. So if the both forces are equal, the body won't move. The force what I am adding should be more than this 1 kg force. Then only the body will move. So I'm keep on adding the weights like this. Up to some weights, means exactly which is equal to the nearest of the 1 kg, like some 1000 grams or some 1050 grams, the body won't move. That means what we can say is, whenever you are doing your best to move the body, there is a friction, nothing but the static friction, which comes into play in a maximum range. So the limiting friction is nothing but a maximum static friction which comes into play whenever a body is just at a verge to move on. Means it is just going to start or about to start. Before that motion starts, what is the maximum magnitude of the static friction? That amount of the static friction which is in the maximum range is called limiting friction. It is the maximum static friction that comes into play whenever a body is just at the verge of motion. When the body is just about to start, up to that the body can experience the static friction. The maximum static friction experienced by the body before it starts to move is called limiting friction. So the limiting friction coefficient or the limiting friction FL is directly proportional to R. So if you remove this FL and the proportionality constant, it will be mu L R. This mu L is coefficient of limiting friction. So mu L is defined as FL by R. So therefore, limiting friction coefficient is defined as limiting friction by normal force of reaction. So this is also written as FL by N also. So generally we are taking this R as N. So FL is proportional to R or N. So therefore it will be mu L N also. This is the definition of limiting friction and limiting friction coefficient. Next type is rolling friction. Actually, in some of the standard textbooks, this rolling friction is also called as one of the type of kinetic friction. So whatever maybe it is a subtype or different type, this is one of the different types in the frictional force. What is the meaning of this rolling friction? Yes, the title itself says that rolling motion. If you take a circular body which is in a solid state, or in the body which is a rigid body is said to be, these type of bodies will do the rolling on the inclined planes or on the smooth horizontal planes. Have the center and head radius. And this type of same bodies we can expect to slide over a horizontal surface. This is an inclined plane. This is horizontal. So what we can understand this rolling friction, it is also one of the friction which comes to play to oppose the rolling of the bodies on a surface. It is the frictional force that comes to play to oppose the rolling of a body on the surface. This is called rolling friction. This rolling frictional coefficient is called FR. FR is rolling friction. Again, this FR is directly proportional to normal reaction force. This FR is, if the proportionality constant is removed, then it will be replaced by mu R N. This mu R is coefficient of rolling friction. So what is the definition of the coefficient of rolling friction? Mu r is equal to Fr by n. Therefore Fr is rolling friction by normal reaction force. Almost all the bodies which are in the rolling motion, they used to execute the circular motion on the planes. So this is the circular motion, the frictional part, the frictional force will be in like this. Whenever this part which is in the rolling motion comes to contact with the surface, it experiences the force, nothing but the rolling frictional force. That's why these two are opposite in direction while they are making the revolutions. Next, the loss of rolling friction. So what are the laws? The first law is rolling friction is dependent on area of contact. The previous frictions, nothing but the static or kinetic, are independent. This is the only dependent. Second one, this rolling friction is inversely proportional to the radius of the body which is under the rolling motion. This friction is inversely proportional to the radius of the rolling body. But directly proportional to the normal reaction. So these are the three laws that can be explained to understand the rolling friction. So for the given surfaces, there are three different types of frictions: static, kinetic and rolling. So we can say static friction is greater than kinetic friction and kinetic friction is greater than rolling friction. So ultimately mu s is the strongest frictional force, then next the kinetic frictional, next rolling friction. This is the order for the given plane of surfaces. This is the problem based on the concept of static friction. So the description of the problem is: determine the maximum acceleration of the train in which a box lying on its floor will remain stationary, given that the coefficient of static friction between the box and the train's floor is 0.15. So a train is moving and one of the part of the train, okay, a luggage was kept. That luggage should be kept stationary. That means that luggage should experience the static friction. So what is the maximum acceleration that can be obtained by train in case of this static friction? We know that frictional force F is equal to mu n, where n is normal force or normal reaction force. The equation is mg. So the frictional force is equal to mu mg. If the body remains in stationary, frictional force should be equal to the applied force. Therefore applied force is equal to ma. So F is equal to small f. So ma is equal to mu mg m and m on both sides are cancelled. Therefore, the formula will change to A is equal to mu g, where mu is the static frictional coefficient. That's why this formula can be rewritten as AS is equal to mu sg, because we are discussing the static friction condition. Therefore, maximum acceleration in the static friction AS is equal to mu s is static frictional coefficient 0.15 into where g is 10 meters per second square. So the answer is 1.5 meters per second square. So this much is the maximum acceleration that should be obtained by the train to keep the body stationary in one of its luggage coach. Now we are discussing a problem which is based on the concept of kinetic friction. The description of the problem is, when a car of mass 1000 kg is moving with a velocity of 20 meters per second on a rough horizontal road, its engine is switched off. How far does the car move before it comes to rest if the coefficient of friction between the road and the tires of the car is 0.75? Initially, the car is moving on a rough surface or the rough road. The engine was switched off. Before it comes to rest, how much distance it will travel? Now, in this case, we should calculate or we should consider the coefficient of friction also. In kinematics, we are not at all considering the coefficient of friction or frictional force. In this case, we should consider. So, the given statement is, it is initial velocity u is equal to 20 meters per second. Before coming to rest means the final velocity is automatically 0. So the distance we should find out. The kinematic relation of motion between these three is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. And the coefficient of friction, nothing but the kinetic frictional coefficient mu k is equal to 0.75. So we know that S is equal to v square minus u square by 2a. We know that A is equal to mu g because MA is equal to mu mg. Therefore, m and m get cancelled. A is equal to mu g. In case of kinetic friction, it will be AK is equal to mu kg. So automatically the final velocity is 0. That's why S is equal to u square by 2 mu kg. The velocity of the body is 20 square by 2 into coefficient of friction is 0.75. G value is 10. It is 400 by 20 into 0.75. Therefore, S is equal to 400 by 20 into 75 by 100. This 20 in 100, 5 times will be cancelled. This 5 in 75, 15 times will be cancelled. Therefore, S is equal to 400 by 15. Approximately the value is 26.67 meters. So, on a horizontal surface which has the roughness or the coefficient of friction 0.75, if the body is coming to rest, before coming to rest, it will travel with 26.67 meters of distance with 20 meters per second initial velocity. The next concept is angle of friction. Take a body which is of a finite size, which is placed on a horizontal surface. If the body wants to move forward or backward, it should overcome the force of reaction, nothing but the frictional force. So if a body wants to move in any direction, there is a possibility for the three forces acting on the body at the same time. But these three forces are separated by different angles with respect to each other and with respect to the plane which is given for the propagation. So automatically one force is downward, nothing but gravitational force. If the body wants to move forward, it should experience a force called limiting friction, which is in the opposite direction. This is Fl. The normal reaction force is exactly opposite to the gravitational force. There is an angle between this limiting friction to the normal reaction force. If these two are the forces in vector form, the resultant of these two forces will exactly joins towards the center of these two. The line which is passing through the origin, which connects the normal reaction force line and the limiting friction line, is called the force of reaction, nothing but the resultant magnitude of the frictional force. This is also called Fr. This line Fr makes an angle with respect to N as well as L. This angle is phi. So what is the definition of the angle of friction? The resultant drawn, nothing but the frictional line, or the resultant force of friction makes an angle theta or phi with respect to the normal or normal reaction force. The angle between the normal reaction force and to the resultant frictional force is called angle of friction. The angle between the normal reaction force and to the resultant force of friction. Which lies between Fl and N, where Fl is limiting friction. If you see the diagram clearly, from this point of contact we can try to apply the applied force direction. So this is phi. Just try to draw the lines which are joining from the top of the resultant line to the normal line and which is parallel to limiting friction. This point is O. A line which is drawn towards the direction of normal force is said to be OA. A line which is drawn towards the line of limiting friction is OB. So here OA is the line which drawn to represent the normal reaction of force. OB is the line which is drawn to represent the limiting friction, Fl. We can say that OB is parallel to AC. So from the given diagram, if we draw the tan phi, take a triangle OCA. From triangle OCA, tan phi is equal to opposite side by adjacent side. Opposite side is AC, adjacent side is AO. AC is parallel to OB, therefore we can write OB by OA. OB is limiting friction, OA is normal reaction force. Therefore, tan phi is equal to Fl by N. We can say this one as static frictional coefficient. So higher the angle of friction, greater the coefficient of friction. So if you want to get the more coefficient of friction, mu s, the angle between the normal line and to the limiting line should be more, because it is a representative of tan theta between the two lines. So therefore tan phi is equal to mu s. From this expression we can write phi is equal to tan inverse mu s. In these cases, if the net force acting on the body, so what is the way to find out the net force acting on the body? The net resultant force is Fr. According to the diagram, we can apply the Pythagoras theorem. So Fr square is equal to Fl square plus n square. So Fr is equal to square root of Fl square plus n square. We can write Fl as mu ln whole square plus n square. So we can write n square, take common, we can write mu l square plus 1. Therefore Fr is equal to under root n square, it will be n square root of mu l square 1 plus 1. Mu l is nothing but the coefficient of limiting friction. Limiting friction is nothing but the maximum static friction. So in case of mu l, we can write mu s also. Therefore n under root mu s square plus 1, where mu s is equal to tan phi. Therefore where n is equal to mg under root tan phi whole square plus 1. 1 plus tan square phi is secant square phi. So under root secant square phi, it is equal to mg secant phi is equal to Fr. Therefore Fr is equal to mg secant phi, we can write by inverse of the cos, therefore mg by cos phi. This is the resultant force equation. So therefore we can write mg is equal to Fr cos phi also. The resultant force between the limiting friction and normal lines is an inverse function of the cos or direct function of the secant. But the applied force is a direct function of cos, nothing but the cos phi. The next concept is motion of a body on rough horizontal surface. See, the surface is horizontal, but nature is rough, it is not the smooth. So if it is a rough surface, it has some frictional coefficient. So let us take a uniform body of finite size. An applied force is in the forward direction. Automatically force and acceleration both are proportional to each other, that's why acceleration also in the same direction. Acceleration due to gravity will be downward. This is the normal reaction force. So the acceleration due to gravity along with the mass of the body, we can write it as mg. If force is in the forward direction, nothing but the applied force is in the forward direction, the force of reaction, nothing but the frictional force, will be in the opposite direction. So we can say that F is equal to ma. But the net force acting on the body is applied force minus frictional force. is equal to capital F minus small f, where capital F is applied force, where small f is frictional force. So therefore, capital F minus small f is equal to ma. Therefore, acceleration is equal to capital F minus small f by m. It will be written as capital F by m minus small f by m. This F is frictional force. What is the coefficient of friction? This is applied force. If we substituted the coefficient of frictions in the both equations, we will get the perfect answer.